Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is The Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games and a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. You want to see more? Hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Pro Cycling Manager 2019 Classics Rider Episode 21, June 1st. Contract update, and we continue to pump contacts of interest into Bahrain Merida. Now solidly yellow, almost halfway to green already. So other than the team we're with really wanting us back, and now Active Jet and Roompot both wanting our services, the lead interest outside of our existing team is Bahrain Merida. So at this point we should already expect to see a contract, and we've still got another month to go to bump that interest up some more. So we may see green, we'll certainly see yellow. We've also leveled up to level 13. I do have a skill point available with that, so let's go ahead and see what we can do. The willpower isn't really turning out to be anything of use. I don't think I need a third contact of interest. We've spent 1 point on stealth, which I haven't really used yet, but we'll go ahead and spend another point on that. It does increase the length of the stealth. I like that. Okay, could make it more valuable as we go forward. But as we are now on June 1st, a new period on the calendar, we have a punchy race each of the next 2 days. Not that they're terribly punchy, but we'll see what we can do with those. But then we're going to be heading into the Tour de Suisse, and there's definitely some chances, like stage 3, maybe stage 6. And if this climb doesn't turn out to be too much, it probably will. So really just those 2 stages, but it's something. Final 30K. We've got 4 laps to go before we go up one final time. And the field's already split. It's actually my fault that the field has split. The weather, a crash, has been a contributing factor. But quite a few laps back, somewhere right around here or here, you hit this same climb again and again. It's the finishing climb. So I took a practice run at it. The whole peloton was together, and all of a sudden I just pushed to see how much effort the climb could withstand, from full strength. What could I do with it? How hard could I push and still have just a hair bit of energy left? And in doing so, I split the field into about 4 parts. And of course, as soon as I got to the top, I sat up and relaxed, and then everybody started coming back together. But just in that little bit of a chase, it did major damage throughout the field, surprisingly. And then, as one of the groups was coming back together, there was a big crash that took down quite a few riders, created a big split, left a group behind. And most of those riders never got back on. So here we are with 82 in the peloton, which is still a fairly large group. But you can see a lot of the riders are quite tired. This is the climb. We're going to go up one more time before we do it in earnest for the race victory. And I think I have every reason to believe that I will easily claim the victory on this one. So I've got Fellini, and that's a big help. Some of the riders coming back together here on the descent as we hit the bottom. 82 now here. But they're going to go at it again here. Like I said, this is that final time. So here's the climb. See, it's 8% on the gradient, and there's definitely an acceleration from some of the guys there, but really not a big deal. And next time we hit it, that's going to be it. So we now have 6K to go. I use my gel. before we go up, I want to get to the front, and then I will control that pace. So, Fellini, we're going to switch this up now. Select all, maintain, go 99, and we're going to follow Fellini. And please, I've got a -2, by the way, but let's see, it's really just my resistance is a little bit low, and that sucks because I'm at the 99% fitness. I have 0 fatigue. That's just a really bad draw. But we're going to go 91 for Fellini, and where, come on, get through, get up there. Get up there. Yes, yes. All right. Now, Fellini. You're going to go 97 here. Here at the base of the climb, now 99. This is saving me more energy, and now 900 meters I'm going to go. If I can get through these guys. Sprint. I'm stuck. I can't get through. Over the top of Gaudu. Yes, I've got the pace for it. Got the victory. I was worried I wasn't going to get through those 3 guys there for a second. Gaudu, Vicho, and Dunbar blocked me off pretty well. One of my favorites, Guillaume Martin, there in 6th for Wanty Gobert. I think he's a highly underrated rider. He wouldn't be a leader on every team out there. I mean, you put him on Team Ineos, and he would fade to the background a little bit. But a lot of teams, the smaller teams, the lower budget teams, that's a rider that needs to, next year, be on a World Tour team. I mean, he is a solid climber who really hangs in there a lot longer. He is almost always on mountain stages the final Continental Pro rider left in the group. And he's generally half the teams of the World Tour are no longer represented before he gets dropped. And he's top 10, top 15 all the time. So I think somebody who flies a little bit under the radar necessarily shouldn't. But we come away with the victory on this one. I almost thought there for a second that I wasn't going to pull it off. When I did my practice run, I wasn't worried about any kind of lead out. So I knew I didn't want much of a lead out from Fellini, but I wanted to get a little something before I take off myself. And I almost messed it up because of it, because I was definitely not front wheel because his pace was not good enough and those guys moved up past him. Saved myself a little bit of energy, but I definitely had to sprint sooner than I wanted, and I had to fight from behind. I mean, I was in 4th place. That one guy was getting lapped. I was in 4th place before making that sprint right here at the end. See, I was 5th, I go up to 4th, and I'm on sprint, but I can't get by. Finally, I find some space to the right, and that was intentional, by the way. The 4 and 6 key slide you left or right to help you avoid collisions, and I use the 6 key to move to the right to ride into some space, move my line. There you go. We come away with the victory on this one, which of course was expected. So it's only a minor evaluation, and after a little bit of time off from racing, we're down to 88%, even with the 4% boost. So always a rough one. I don't care for those situations where they just expect you to win, because then when you do, there's no reward for it. It's very subdued when you're only gaining 15 points. And it's hard to develop as a rider. But I suppose at the same time, until you get up to the higher competition level, I suppose we're where we should be, right? Well, we've got another punchy stage coming up, but this one is far less punchy. So, not sure. I might be on that list as favorite again. But just looking at the profile, there's not much to that climb. And so, it might be classified as a hill stage. And that's certainly decent, 10% gradient, 2.3 kilometers, getting steep at the top. But that's not the finishing climb. So the finishing climb is very much a different one. So plenty of undulation. But yeah, I'm not so sure about this one. We'll see what we can do though. Just 30 kilometers left to go in this one. The breakaway has 5 riders. They've still got a little bit of a gap, a little over a minute. They're starting to attack each other as a result. But behind in the peloton, these are very much a different story. We're down to 22 riders. And for the second time, I started this mess. I took a practice run at the final climb as we're on a circuit. You get to see it many times. And I was trying to see how far out I can sprint. Well, I sprinted ahead, opened up a gap, half a minute over everybody, and as a result, it forced the field to give some chase, and then all of a sudden riders were off the back. Now, I did not split it down to 20 riders, but I did split it down as Fellini's group takes off here. Let's see who's going to give chase so I don't have to. Good. Boy, we still have not caught those guys yet. There is a lot of fatigue out here, and the gap is staying pretty much the same. Are you going to catch up to them, or am I going to need to attack this one, get up there with Fellini, and ride off into the sunset? Still holding 23 seconds. It's not a big gap, but if there's not much chase here. Come on, come through it. Come through it. It's too technical until you get to here. This is where
this climb features some dreadful percentages.
Okay, well, it did pull the group with me a little bit, but we're up to 16 riders here, and Fellini is here. One more time until we go for the finish. That breakaway was reeled in. Fellini's group has been reeled in. And we did leave about 4 riders behind when I attacked up, making the group even smaller. So breakaway group is still part of this. And then Fellini's small group. So riders that are here, at least 10 of them, the big names: Patrick Conrad, Vicho, Franchini, Clark, Viermos, Martin, again, Garcia Cortina, my potential teammate for next year, Barguil, Ede, Orbes. So still big names in the group. The contenders are still here. I have now recovered. But anyway, those little attacks, it split it off and it made it small groups, forcing people to work that not necessarily wanting to work. And we see another little acceleration here. Ede and a couple others off the front. Fellini giving chase here. I like this. This is doing a lot of damage in the group. It's tiring a lot of guys out. Fellini is the one burying himself in the chase. But a lot of guys were chasing a lot harder than I was on that. And in fact, there's at least one rider off the back, and I'm sure there's a few others that, if we look back through this group, probably shoulders are going to be sagging really bad.
The riders are entering the last 5 kilometers of the stage.
Alright, let's take a moment to look around Vicho. Observe. Oh yeah, he's fine. Simon Clark. He's fine. Conrad. He is not. Conrad is very tired here. Orbes. Garcia Cortina. There you go. We'll use our last one. Cortina's done. He is done. Okay, so couple of the guys are hanging in there, but a lot of riders are toast at this point. And I misread where we were because I had a different rider's name selected and didn't realize it. So 3.8 kilometers, huh? Let's send you at a 92. I'm right behind him, so I should be able to get into this gap. Come on, one more slot to go. There it is. Okay. Fellini. 99. Okay, here's where we turn the corner and we can attack.
And they're off. It's going to be very fast.
Arthur Visho is close. Come on, sprint it out. Oh no! Visho's gonna get it. I think he's got it. He's got it.
He really had to
Oh, he gets it by a millimeter. Great run from Visho. Like me, he was not fatigued too much. Clear gap between us and everybody else. DuPont, Clark, Conrad, Ede, Viermo, Spargil, Orbase. Fellini takes 10th. Martin, Franchini, Cortina, Plancart. That's the remnants of the group. We did check on Visho, and Visho had similar energy to what we did. I got the jump on him. He outsprinted me there. Now remember, I've got great acceleration, but my sprint is only a 68, so I don't have a lot of top speed. And I told you that last stage was punchier. That suited me much better than this one. This one was barely above 3%. So yes, hills rating, okay. But the sprint was absolutely a factor in this race. Come so close. The energy just about lasted as long as it needed to. It was just a hair shy, 10 meters, 5 meters of really what I needed. So I had to back off the sprint for just a moment. And I guess that was the difference, right? I got the proper lead out, but Visho just better sprint. He outpaced me. Second place, certainly not bad, but it's not a win. And the team's going to be ticked off about that because I took second. So we didn't get into the Tour de Suisse. I'd forgotten about that. And so we move right on to the 1st of July. And it's the USA Road Racing Championship. So I was not in the time trial version, but the road race, it looks like I might have come under selection for this one, or at least the team sending me to participate in this one. For one thing, I've begun my fitness peak right in time for the Tour de Suisse, which didn't happen. I've got a chance to change schedule, which is not going to happen. I'm not going to waste those points. I'll save them for next season. But we do have that one more chance to upgrade. This has not changed at all because those two races that we won were not high enough profile for Bahrain Merida to go, ooh. Actually, it was the first and second, right? We didn't even win the second one. So between those, we did not see a jump in interest, at least not for them. You can see we're just about there on the edge of green. And with a month to go, a good performance at the USA National Road Championships could definitely see that rise up a bit higher. That is certainly something that they do look at. So we'll go ahead and accept that, and we're going to get into the USA Road Championships. Now, here's the thing about this one. It's an alternating course. So there's actually a very good chance that this is going to be more of the sprinter's course with only slight undulation to it. Curious to see what the profile is, at least get initial impressions before we get out on the course itself, before cutting ahead for that. With a lot of races, it's taken a little time to sim through those, and no, this looks like the normal. Yeah, this looks like the normal course. So This is actually one that I have every opportunity to win, and with a +2 race day condition, it's hot, sunny, but outside of that, I've got every opportunity to win this thing. Length is a little bit long, stamina could be an issue, I won't have any team support, so nothing's a given. If I'm the favorite and there's a breakaway, they're going to expect my team to chase it down, but I don't have a team with me. So, yikes. I've seen this before where 8 riders go away and suddenly have 10 minutes and there's no chase. So we'll see if that happens here. Maybe I'll stay live for the beginning at least just to see if it stabilizes. EF Education First have a solid contingency of riders here. TJ Van Garderen, Lawson Craddock, Joe Dombrowski, and Sean Bennett all on the favorites list. All podium favorites list. Third place on through best of the rest. That team should should keep a chase going. If they get somebody in the breakaway, though, we're all screwed. So maybe I'll try to get into the break. I've got to make sure that EF Education First do not get in the break. Team Rally is another one that could. They'll have enough riders here to give chase, but it's really just if they want to win. And that should be the objective here, right? We only have 38 riders. Holy cow. No break yet. I want to get near the front just so I can respond just in case. CCC to have a couple riders. CCC was BMC. It's now CCC. Now, at a couple of my other playthroughs, the CCC team is still registered as a USA team. I started those day one on release. Database wasn't fully updated at that point, and it's held firm to that. This playthrough I started a bit later after release, so this one, CCC, is the now Polish registered team. Yes, they have a co-owner that is still US. EF trying to attack. Garrison, I'll join you. Let's make it a 3-man break, huh?
He's making a break for it. Will it prove to be too early?
I can't let EF get into the break. If EF gets into the break, they will not chase. So I'm going to have to waste a lot of energy myself pulling this back. So EF is the one that's off limits. They're the only chance there really is of pulling back a breakaway. So if they get into the break, they're going to want to sit up. There he goes again. It's Garrison, right? Yeah. Now, if it's one man, maybe they won't let him get away very far, the rest of the field. It's hard to say. I can only do so much of the chasing myself. 2 guys off the front. Not so bad. I'd be willing to try to let 2 go. A large group with EF in it, though, is a lose. It's an automatic loss. So for now, I'm sitting up, letting CCC do the chasing. That's good. Looks like they're going to pull him back. Maybe not. They're hanging on to a very small gap, but it's going to exhaust those 2 big time. And we've got a very tactical race here as they get pulled back in. Now Rally going. This is the kind of break I'd be happy with, because now you've got the power of CCC. You've got the power of EF Education First to chase them back down later. So, by all means, pull away, CCC. Sit up a little bit, why don't you? Let them go. Let them get a gap. Let them get a minute. Looks like the Hawkins-Berman's team is also willing to give a bit of chase. At least they're near the front. Gap's still only 20 seconds as Joey Roscoff is just burying himself to try to pull those guys back. But he is too tired, and now they're pulling away here on this ascent. He pulled back the last group as well, remember? So he's burnt a lot of energy with those shoulders bobbing back and forth big time. He's not able to make the chase, and now it's a minute 10. This is already hit the ideal stage. They're far enough away that I think they'll be allowed to go, and we'll sit up some. Roscoff, now it's a minute 38. Now the big ticker is to not let these guys get 8 minutes away. The rest of the field, the other 36 riders just going, okay, you two go win, and we're going to fight for third. Alright, I want to see how big this gap gets before we cut forward to the end of the stage. Wow, we just pulled back 30 seconds instantly. What happened there? So we're somewhere in the 2 to 2.5 minute stretch. This is good. I need water. Gotta drop back and get it now. Now it's 3 minutes. So it's bouncing back and forth a lot, but 2 to 3 minutes. That's ideal. That means I can go off and still win this thing, potentially. See you back with a few laps to go. Back early just in case, but going quickly. 40K to go. 4 laps. Now 3. Gap did open up a bit. It opened up to 4 minutes. The chase sat up for a while. CCC has been the main chaser throughout. And now, as we get down to 25K, that gap is not really closing down. So you got Roscoff really alone. EF Education First has not given any pursuit, and it just opened up to 4.5 minutes. So this is now suddenly not looking good, as one rider alone is given that chase, and he's losing the gap. It's up to 5 minutes. So next time, I'm going to attack and just try to break away a little bit, because he's not really chasing him back. On the flat, he's pulling him back ever so slightly, and that gap can come down very quickly, but... Okay, I'm going to go around your outside here. And then I'm going to surprise attack.
There's some that just can't keep up. There are gaps beginning to appear at the rear. He's going to take them on by himself.
Keep that sprint on here through the flat. Now, open it up to a normal. 48 seconds is the gap, and I'm within 3 minutes of these guys with 15K to go. I don't know how I'm going to catch 2.5 minutes, but maybe I've got myself at least a solid third place. As we approach the top, I'll recover on the descent a bit, but I'm slowing down because I used too much energy too early. I should have saved a little bit. Lost 10 seconds here. Meanwhile, the field is chasing me, and that means the gap is coming down at least to the front. 12K to go. It's a minute 44. I pulled back 3 minutes just like that, and that's the first I've seen of those guys in quite a while. If I could pull back 3 minutes just like that, maybe I could pull back a minute and a half on the final climb. Maybe. 20 seconds though. I really feel like I need to sit up and let the group behind me come back. Minute 30. Okay, let's use the gel. 25 seconds still. Minute 28 ahead. "27 seconds. I've got a good flat rating, so I keep it up here. Gel should be kicking in nice right before I turn the corner. So we're going to go 93. Let's see how fast that gap opens behind. 43 seconds just like that. A minute ahead. I pulled back 30 seconds right away. Come on, keep going. 2K. It's under a minute. 49 seconds. 40 seconds. Come on. Can I get there? Can I get there? There they are. Oh, I've still got a shot.
There we go. The sprint is on. The riders are setting themselves up.
Oh, no. I'm not going to get him. I'm not going to get him. That is so flippin' close. Murphy's going to go on and win it. Owayan's going to take second. And I get third. So damn close to chasing down that group. They were 4.5 minutes ahead. And the only reason why the field even started coming back at all was because I sprinted away. I would have gone one sooner if the gap had already opened up. But it was the one sooner where the gap suddenly opened up. We went from this is manageable. It was 4 minutes and we were starting to pull them back, and then all of a sudden the gap just instantly opened to 5 minutes. So took off and started pulling them back. And remember on the flat, right, where I had no business chasing on the flat. We pulled back a little bit of time on the flat, but we were clearly not chasing. We were just quicker on the flat than we were on the climb. And so once again, the breakaway is allowed to take it because none of the teams are willing to give the chase because I have no teammates and I'm the favorite. So I understand how flawed the mechanic is on that and why it's leading to this situation where they want my team to chase. But I'm a solo rider. So the AI needs to behave differently in those situations. They might want to force me to do some of the work, but they certainly can't just throw away their own race. Anybody outside of those two teams at some point needs to just step up and say, hey, we've got 3 riders. Hey, we've got 4 riders. And let's bury one guy so we've actually got a chance to win this thing. I know the favorite's right there, and we want to put the impetus, we want to put the pressure on him. But we want to win too, don't we? Right? You don't just throw away your race so that the favorite doesn't win. But that's the AI logic. So the AI just assumes that the leader's team is going to take over. But when they're solo, it's not going to happen. The only team that was willing to work at all was CCC, but they only had 2 riders here. So Joey Roskopf, he buried himself, but that was also the problem. He buried himself early and then again later on. But when he sat up, their 2 to 3 minute gap suddenly became a 4.5 minute gap. And then he got back on it with only minor recovery, and it was that same deal. And so when he hit that climb, he just couldn't climb with any pace. On the flat, he was going faster than those guys. And those guys did not have the energy left. I mean, in just over one lap, I pulled back 4 whole minutes from them. 4 minutes. I mean, by myself. Completely alone. I mean, that's a huge gap to cover in that short of a distance. And I still left the field a ways behind. But definitely once I went, they worked together as a group to chase the favorite. So, just a bit of a flawed mechanic still in this game. It really only happens in these one-off races, the national championships where you're alone, or the world championships where you are solo from a nation. Everywhere else, it's not going to happen that way. So I pulled back of upwards 5 minutes. It was over 4 minutes when I chased. I pulled back about 4 minutes and just 2 times around the climb. What hurt me was the flat area in between. I don't have any business riding solo through there. So I wasn't able to recover much on that descent, and then I had to sit up a bit on the flat. They opened that gap back up a little bit. I lost 15, 20 seconds through there. And I nearly did it. Nearly. Felt good. Still lost. Still took third. Team, again, mad that I don't go and win, but if they saw the race, they would really have to clap their hands a little bit and say, good job. But nope, no pat on the back for me. It's all good. I mean, it's fine. It's July. We're about to get a contract. We're about to go up to the World Tour. We're about to get into the real racing. This year, this team, not working out so much. Not the happiest with how this one has gone. But as we look forward, we have a single race left in the month. It's the Österreich Rundfahrt. I swear this used to be a World Tour race, even as recently as last year. And I enjoy this one. I don't know what happened, if it did lose its classification, or if I'm just flat out wrong, and it's not a World Tour race. But coming into this one, it looks like Stage 1, we've got a chance. Stage 2, we've got a chance. Not a chance in Stage 3. Stage 4, maybe? I don't see that one. I think that's sprinters. Some sprinters will make it to the top, and they would take the victory. No way there. This one, maybe. Sure. That could be. So, actually, we're going to have a fair amount of opportunities at the Österreich Rundfahrt, so the Tour of Austria. And then that'll put us into August and a new contract. At this point, it looks very likely that Bahrain Merida should step in and offer a contract. So I don't think that'll be an issue. Going forward in August, into the end of the year, we did get an invite to this one, but I have no idea what this race looks like. Sprint. Okay, one chance. Two chances. This is a World Tour race. Poland. Okay, a Polish World Tour race. Tour of Poland. Also, Björk Lambrecht. That's where he passed away. This one was not televised. And I don't remember this being a World Tour race prior to this year. And I don't think this was in the database earlier. I think this is a late addition. I could be wrong on that. So this is the first I've seen of this tour. Or really even heard of this tour. Let me know in the comments below. I have not done the research, and I'm not about to, pull that up on another screen on at this moment in the midst of the recording. So I'll take your word for it on the history of this and the Österreich Rundfahrt, and see is maybe this is something that went along with the CCC team moving to Poland, organizing a race, pulling something together. I mean, you see this sort of thing in various sports all the time of like, hey, we're going to go there, we're going to do this, we're going to make this happen, and we're going to invest some money. But quid quo pro, right? Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Give us a race. Very well could be the case. Who knows? Definitely some opportunities there. Two, anyway. We'll bypass the other stages. That's a sprint, not a punchy hill. Not at all. That's a short, punchy hill. But sprinters probably could still go for it unless it's longer than 2K. Maybe. Again with the maybe. Sprint, but actually maybe. And we don't know if we're into this race yet. Haven't heard back. I mean, it's not till October, but that is the end of the calendar. So we've got at least one World Tour race left, and then a bunch of individual stages to go through those final months. We're looking at probably 3 episodes till the end of the season. I would venture to say I will bypass plenty of those that aren't really suited to us. But that's where we're at right now. I'm certainly looking forward to the end of the season and moving on to the World Tour rankings, especially just this season has not felt as good. I'm 5th in Continental rankings, which isn't bad. certainly could be better. I mean, Solano, Fellini are half the points that I have, but that's not a bad total for them at all. Super Prestige, 34th, moved up a little bit there. It's okay. It's okay. We're getting there. But again, feels like it could be so much more this season, especially after how we did last season. I had higher expectations. We're getting fewer opportunities, and a lot of them are like what we just had, where it's kind of a solo thing, where it's myself against the world. It's a lot tougher without that team support. Fellini helps when I have team leadership, but I keep ending up in these scenarios where I win and I pick up plus 5% manager satisfaction, and a week later that 5%'s gone, and then a week later it drops another 5%, and then a week later it drops another 5%, and then I get into a race and I finish second when I was supposed to win, so I get plus 1. and so I don't gain anything back. And my team has thought that I'm so flippin' awesome, I'm superhuman, and should win every single race I've been entered into this season. Just about. No matter what the profile is, they've pretty much said, oh yeah, you should win this. But then not really give me the team support. Half the time, the guys they send with me are low 60s, and I only get 1 or 2 decent riders, and then it's been a tough season. Certainly ready to see a quality team, quality World Tour team, see what we can do there. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.